What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. My name is tonibryanne, and in today's video, we'll be unraveling Blake Lively's problematic past. You guys, I have had quite the day, okay? It's been a lengthy day, but I could not let the day go by without talking about this Blake Lively drama. After everything that has gone down, from the It Ends With Us promo, to these lawsuits coming out back to back from Blake Lively, and then from her co-star Justin Baldoni, I had to hop on this. And here we are now, hopping on the wave, talking about Miss Blake Lively. But before we get into this very lengthy video, let's first start off with a little bit of positivity as always. Today's quote of the day is, "I free myself from all destructive thoughts." Today's verse of the day is Hosea chapter 10 verse 12, and it reads, "Sow righteousness for yourselves, reap the fruit of unfailing love, and break up your unplowed ground. For it is time to seek the Lord until he comes and showers his righteousness on you." And without further ado, you guys, let's get straight into today's video.
Taking you in this moment.
Blake Lively has been acclaimed the American Dream Girl for quite some time now, starring in movies like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, Green Lantern, The Age of Adeline, The Shallows, A Simple Favor, and now It Ends With Us. And then of course, how can we possibly forget her star role in the hit series Gossip Girl? With not many controversies put at the forefront, the now 37-year-old actress had the world at her fingertips. However, that has seemingly quickly crumbled, and now it seems she's America's most hated. Before we get into all the drama that has been going on now, I thought, why not do a breakdown of the little controversies that Blake Lively has been involved in? Her PR team must have been working overtime because it is quite the rap sheet. But that's gonna lead us to our first scandal that Miss Blake Lively was involved in, and that is her alleged scandal with her co-star Leighton Meester. The show Gossip Girl is known as a cultural phenomenon. Airing from years 2007 to 2012, the show followed the lives of Manhattan's elite teens on the Upper East Side of New York. With its dramatic plot twists, the fashion choices, the glitz, the glamour, the mystery of who is Gossip Girl, the show captured all of our hearts, specifically teen girls and young adults, and including myself. Though I still have yet to finish Gossip Girl, I was watching it a lot in college, and then I went through a very traumatic breakup, and I never went back to the show. So maybe I should watch it again. But I stopped at like season 3, like right when they started going to college, I believe. But regardless of that, Blake Lively was basically the star of the show. She played the role of carefree wild girl Serena van der Woodsen. The character Blake played, Serena van der Woodsen, is what a lot of people believe Blake Lively to be in the real world. She had a lot of social status, attention. She had the traditional look that all the Americans seem to love, the blonde hair and the blue eyes. She was seen as stunning and irresistible, according to the show. Whereas Serena's best friend slash kind of frenemy, Blair Waldorf, played by Leighton Meester, was the polar opposite. Leighton Meester's portrayal of Blair Waldorf was so well done. Blair was known to be confident, hardworking, ambitious, and most of all, loyal, but she also was known as the Queen Bee, the ultimate mean girl that everybody loved. And I think honestly, Leighton did a phenomenal job at this role. Together, both of these girls defined an era of teen drama and solidified their statuses as household names when it comes to television series. However, due to the tension that was held on screen between Serena and Blair, a lot of fans and watchers of the show Gossip Girl thought it was the reality of the actresses playing those characters. And this ultimately fueled rumors of tension between the two. So now let's get deeper into why so many people believe that there was tension between Leighton and Blake. So for one, the executive producer of Gossip Girl by the name of Joshua Safran, he described the two girls as having polar opposite personalities, very similar to the two characters played on the show by the girls. He described Blake as outgoing and super personable, whereas he described Leighton as more reserved. These two very stark differences led people to believe that these two ladies could never be friends in real life. And it honestly started leading people to believe that Leighton was the problem versus Blake, just because Leighton was more laid back and didn't care to be all up in the spotlight. And that gets into another reason as to why people believe that the two didn't like each other, and that was the unequal spotlight. So Blake often got more media attention due to her constantly being on red carpets, having a more bubbly personality, and just personally putting herself out there. It was clear she loved the attention, she loved the spotlight. And then you had Leighton, Leighton, who went to far less public appearances and overall just stayed out of the limelight. This very clear imbalance led people to believe that maybe Leighton wasn't going to these appearances because she didn't like Blake, or vice versa. But when the two were seen in public together, a lot of people were like, they don't seem to like each other. Unlike some co-stars on other shows and movie projects that choose to show more in depth of their relationship or friendship, Leighton and Blake were known not to really hang out outside of work, with some reporters saying, in quote, they avoided each other like the plague. And then now clips that have resurfaced, there's plenty of clips that have resurfaced since Blake got into all this drama, showed seemingly awkward tension between the two. There was this one clip where Blake blatantly said that blondes had more fun when Leighton was asked about her dyeing her hair brown. If y'all did not know, Leighton is a natural blonde, but in order to fit the character of Blair Waldorf, it was believed that the Blair character would be better fit as a brunette. So as Leighton is describing this, Blake decides to make a very interesting comment, and Leighton's reaction to it was subtle but very clear. Take a look at this.
I think I'm just brunette because of the books.
And everyone knows blondes are nicer anyway.
Over there.
Moment by me.
You can cut the tension in that room with a knife. So another clip that has recently resurfaced as well, which was a shocking clip, was Blake making a joke, okay? And I put joke very lightly, about Leighton's childhood. So if you guys do not know, Leighton has been very public about the fact that she was born in prison. Her mother was pregnant with her in prison and gave birth to her in prison, and her father was also in prison too.
My parents had been part of a very interesting lifestyle, I guess you could say.
They were in prison.
Yes.
Okay. But everything's fine now.
Everything's all good. Yeah, my dad is an internet company. My mom's a writer, and so they live the good life now.
That's fantastic. So everybody, but that's a weird place to start when you're, you know, right?
Yeah. You know, I think the thing too about like having, you know, your parents go through all that, they made a lot of sacrifices so that we could be okay and we could be protected from all that. And, you know, I've heard a lot of very crazy stories, and to see somebody who's, you know, a mother and she has 3 kids and she's done a lot of wonderful things too, you know, you can overcome that. And I came from a place where I wasn't privileged, or I didn't really have anything handed to me necessarily. So I think, you know, it doesn't matter where you come from.
Listen to what Blake said about Leighton, allegedly, when they were talking about the concept of them using cages on set of Gossip Girl.
Chuck has a matching pet monkey with coordinating outfits, and I was like, I would love to be part of the show, but I can't act with a monkey. And then I got a few of them.
You got a few of them.
Come on, it was a joke. Lord have mercy.
That was a lot of information about cages, and I'm sorry, I was still thrown off by that stuff.
He was like, wow.
Who else didn't want to act in a cage?
Well, some of them
required a
started.
cage.
Yeah.
I can understand maybe if we're friends and you make that joke, but it's the fact that they seem to be just co-stars and then Blake chooses to make a joke like that, something that could be very traumatic to Leighton. And I just don't think that that would be something that I would find even the least bit funny, but it's clear that Blake found it hilarious, though everybody else did not laugh. It got very awkward after she made that comment. So let's move on to today and where the two are. So the big component as to why people really don't think that they're friends anymore or were never friends is that they don't follow each other on social media. In today's day and age, we all know a follow means that I mess with you, and if I don't follow you, that means I don't mess with you. Well, at least according to Gen Z and even millennials. But in a lot of cases, that is seemingly true, and the two don't follow each other. So does that mean that they don't like each other? Many fans believe that that means that they do not like each other.
These rumors that you guys have been out.
You can tell, right? You can tell, right?
What? You read the gossip magazines and everybody is dating everyone. Everybody hates everyone. Everybody's like had tons of plastic surgery and we're actually men and trannies. I mean, it's just like, you don't listen to the rumors.
The real life is so much better and so much more exciting, I think, for us. But to other people, it's like, they don't want to hear that we all get along, and that we all go to the set and we're all just total dorks. They want to hear that we're like fighting and that we're all, I mean, you know, dating and like.
I can't believe they haven't found out yet that I'm pregnant with Brad's baby. It's Angelina's gonna be really upset, but the gossip magazines don't know that. Thank the Lord. That's the only true thing. But other than that, it's all pretty much romance.
It's out now. I'm the
shoot,
godmother.
maybe I shouldn't have said that.
No, take camera.
Oh,
Remember?
just kidding. Can you?
So we may never know. Leighton has been very quiet during the height of Blake's drama, but I do think it's very interesting to look at some old clips of them interacting with one another, and the fact that Leighton has yet to come to Blake's defense, especially given the fact that they were working together for 5 years straight and they're working together very closely. So now let's move on to Blake's next scandal. And this has to do with another one of her co-workers or co-stars, I guess. Is it a co-star if it's like kind of a background character? But okay, regardless, somebody that worked with her on set of Gossip Girl. So an actor by the name of Armie Hammer discussed having some challenging times on set of Gossip Girl. So Armie Hammer played the character of Gabriel, which was Blake, or should I say Serena's love interest on the show of season 2 of Gossip Girl. So this clip that I'm going to show you guys is an interview clip, and in the interview clip, a fan asked Armie who the biggest diva on set of Gossip Girl was. Armie gave like this awkward pause before answering the fan, and then he went on to say that working on set was really difficult for him, and it got so bad that he did not even film all the episodes he was supposed to for Gossip Girl. And as he spoke, it could be suggested that he was fired from the show due to another co-star. And Chelsea Handler asked if it was Blake, and he gave an awkward pause and was not being definitive that it was not her, so it led a lot of people to believe that it was indeed Blake. Take a look at this clip.
On Gossip Girl, who was the biggest diva on set?
Let me just say that was a tough show to film, and I didn't end up actually filming all of the episodes I was supposed to because it was such a tough film.
Really? Literally, you said, "Get me out of this."
It was also like, get him out of here. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whose love interest were you?
I was Blake Lively's love interest.
You were?
Yeah.
Okay, well
Sounds
then.
like she was the problem.
It sure does, Chelsea.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Don't put words into his mouth.
Yeah. Yes. Because my foot is already there.
No, it is not.
I mean, y'all, it sounds like he was talking about her, if we really are being truthful. Now, as I was researching this, I heard that Armie has a rap sheet himself, so I don't know if we should necessarily believe him, but that seemed like a really authentic response. It didn't seem like he was fabricating anything. It felt like that was like his genuine thought process going on as he was answering this question. So before we get into Blake's probably biggest controversy up until now, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Polybuzz. So you guys all know I love things that spark creativity and lead you to using your imagination a little bit more. So y'all know I had to hook y'all up with something that triggers all of those things in one. The app Polybuzz allows you to create your very own unique character chatbots. Yes, you literally can create a character and actually talk to it. From anime-inspired characters to personalized characters, you can take any character to the very next level. With over 10 million downloads worldwide and more than 20 million characters created, it's the go-to app for unleashing your creativity. Like literally imagine creating a character to your complete liking. It is so much fun. Like I had a blast creating my own character. Yes, y'all heard me. I got my fingers on this app myself and created my very own character. Check out this chatbot I made. I made my character to be a small town girl that moved to a big city to pursue her dreams. It's like the basic plot to every teen boppy movie, but still I had to do it, and being able to converse with that chatbot was so much fun. And guess what, y'all? You can even share and talk to other people who create chatbots as well. Here I am using a pre-made chatbot to discuss what we were speaking about in today's video, which is Blake Lively. So as you can see, this character's bio is my half-sister that just wants to be my friend, and it plays along with the character very well as I still am speaking about a topic that I care about. So don't wait, download Polybuzz using the link in my description. And for the best part, use my exclusive promo code on the screen right here to unlock premium features to take your experience to the next level. It's super easy to redeem. Just pop the code in the search bar and it is all yours. So what are y'all waiting for? Let's get creative together with Polybuzz. Download now and I'll see you guys in the app. Maybe we can have a little chat together. Thank you so much, Polybuzz, for sponsoring this segment of today's video. And now let's get into Miss Blake Lively's relationship with none other than Ryan Reynolds. So Blake and Ryan Reynolds met on the set of Green Lantern back in 2010. Now, mind you, at the time, Ryan was married to another actress by the name of Scarlett Johansson, who I'm sure you guys all know. And Blake was in a long-term relationship with her co-star from Gossip Girl, Penn Badgley, who you guys may know from the show You, and then of course Gossip Girl. So the following year in 2011, Blake and Ryan both ended the relationships they were in while they were filming the movie Green Lantern. Scarlett Johansson announced her and Ryan's divorce in December of 2010, and then Blake and Penn Badgley announced their separation in 2010 as well, but September of 2010. And very quickly after, mind you, Mr. Ryan was married, but by the summer of 2011, there were rumors of a budding relationship between Blake and Ryan. But Ryan continued to refer to Blake as a friend, though they were continuously hanging out. And they both were newly single. And right after Mr. Ryan said that, it was barely even winter. It was October of 2011. The pair were spotted together on a date in Boston. So everybody was like, okay, y'all two are clearly together. Let's stop with the lies. I don't want to say it's lies because it's not really our business, but it was a lie because you could have just said nothing. And then by December 2011, exactly a year after Mr. Matt, why am I calling him Matt? Mr. Ryan and Scarlett Johansson broke up, Blake and Ryan were seen holiday shopping and spending time with each other's families. And this further confirmed the relationship between the two. So in February 2012, they finally had their first public appearance. Yay, they're saying that they're finally together. The pair attended Hugh Jackman's Hugh Jackman Back on Broadway. Although they didn't walk the red carpet together, their attendance there marked a significant public appearance of their timeline of dating. And then by late 2011 to early 2012, their relationship was widely known, though they were very private. And their official debut of being together was when they got married, which I kind of like that. That's gonna be me next. We not together until I got a ring on that finger. Y'all gonna see me like this and y'all gonna be like, oh, Tony had a man this whole time? But yes, they officially debuted themselves as a married couple when they got married in September of 2012, less than 2 years after Mr. Ryan got divorced from Scarlett Johansson. So let's get a little bit more into the drama between these two's relationship. So for one, a lot of people believe that Blake and Ryan were dating while Ryan was still married to Scarlett. And obviously Blake was in a relationship too, but marriage is a bit of a bigger deal than a relationship. So people took more to the fact that Ryan was married. And if you see a lot of their interviews when they were talking about the movie Green Lantern, there was a lot of flirting going on. They seemed very much so cozy.
Hard not to love the movie because you guys are so beautiful to watch that I was just like,
well, hello.
I was just like,
everyone gains 10 points next to her. You go out. No, that's all you get today, though. That's it.
I know, I can't believe you.
That's it.
Like
no,
camera
just that.
compliments
Yeah,
off
no.
camera,
Yeah.
not so nice.
Yeah, no, never. Never.
You gotta keep her grounded.
No, yeah, absolutely. I've seen her go into a rage spiral. Oh my God. And most people's violence with her, it's just baking.
What are fears that you guys have had to overcome?
Man.
Working with Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You have a bodyguard? Wow.
I'm a huge deal.
Yeah, man. Wow.
I love it.
Nice.
However, the biggest part of these two being cozy and being romantic, whether or not Ryan was still married to Scarlett, it was their age gap that gave people the creeps. But no one really got the creeps until now looking back, because I didn't even know that their age gap was so big. So Blake was about 22 or 23 when they began filming for the movie The Green Lantern, whereas Ryan was a whopping 33 years old. And when they officially got married, Blake was just 25 and Ryan was 36 years old, which gives them an 11-year age gap. So people are like, ooh, this is a little bit weird, the relationship. And let me see how old Scarlett was. Let's look up how old Scarlett was. So Scarlett was about 3 years older than Blake Lively, so he just might like them young. And I'm not gonna say too much on this because y'all know my thought process when it comes to like dating older. I don't think dating older is necessarily a bad thing when we're both consenting adults, but not just consenting adults, when we're like deeper into our 20s. Like her being 23 feels a little young. If she was like 25 and he was 36, politics, I wouldn't have given too much of the side eye. But hey, it was legal, so we listen and we don't judge. All right, so let's scurry past all this because I really want to get into this wedding, okay? This wedding pisses me off so badly every time I hear about it. Let's get into where the heck Blake and Ryan got married. So the biggest controversy of Ryan and Blake's relationship is the fact that they decided to get married on a plantation. Yes, a plantation. So Blake and Ryan held their wedding ceremony at the Boone Hall Plantation. This location was a former slave plantation, raising questions about the appropriateness of using this as a wedding venue. So I, of course, want to give history of the plantation before we even get into them deciding to get married on it, because my ancestors deserve a little bit of recognition. So the Boone Hall Plantation was established in the 17th century and was a major producer of cotton and indigo, relying on enslaved labor. So this plantation is just outside of Charleston, South Carolina, and it is one of America's oldest working plantations. So you can only imagine how many tears, sorrow, pain, and trauma is inflicted on those grounds. However, lots of people that look like this think that it's cute to go ahead and get married on my ancestors' tears and pain, including Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. So Boone Hall has been a public tourist site since the 1950s, focusing primarily on the architectural history and agricultural past, though the property still contains preserved buildings from the era of slavery. So it's like they're completely ignoring the fact that slaves lived on here and all of their stories. Excuse me, not slaves, enslaved people lived on here in their stories, and they're just talking about how beautiful the property is. It's insane, but you know how this country does. Like, I can't imagine getting married on a property where there's legitimately slave cabins on it. Like, I think that's so odd, but okay. To me, it's just the irony of deciding to celebrate your wedding, two white people celebrating their wedding and being happy and dancing all over where there are probably corpses underneath the ground of people that built this country, people that look like me. But, you know, of course they claim that they had no ill intention on doing this. So let's get into 2020 Black Lives Matter movement era where everybody was getting called out for everything. Like, all y'all were getting called out. I was starting to feel bad for some people because it'll be like tweets from 1962 y'all was pulling up on people. But Blake Lively got called out for having her wedding on a plantation because this is when everybody was calling all y'all out. Receipts were being dealt, okay? After years of silence, 8 years to be exact, but who's counting? Ryan decided to finally apologize for getting married on a slave plantation. And that was due to the backlash they were getting in the year of 2020 when everybody was trying to act like they were pro-black when they really weren't because they didn't want to be called out for being racist. But that's besides the point. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I be going in. In an interview with Fast Company, Ryan stated that he and Blake were deeply sorry for the decision and acknowledged their ignorance at the time. Ryan and Blake pledged to learn from their mistakes and committed to supporting organizations focused on racial justice. And they did end up putting their money where their mouth was. They made a $200,000 donation to the NAACP's Legal Defense Fund. So we can only hope that they learned from this, but I will always look at you sideways for thinking that it's okay to celebrate on someone else's tears. And clearly a lot of other people don't want to let it go either, which is warranted. So now let's get into, sorry I keep playing with my braids. I'm like flipping my hair, you feel me? So now let's get into Blake Lively's 2013 Gucci Premiere campaign and why it stirred so much controversy. So for this campaign, Blake Lively posed in a luxurious gold gown for Gucci Premiere. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. There's a little accent on one of the E's. So this campaign was meant to promote a high-end fragrance. The campaign seemingly aimed for old Hollywood, but ended up evoking imagery that was linked to plantation era wealth and grandeur. Many people felt that they failed significantly at making it old Hollywood once again. They felt the aesthetic was more reminiscent of old antebellum, which was a period tied to overt racism and systemic exploitation against Black people, of course. A lot of people felt that this photo shoot glamorized the old antebellum, but any glamorization of oppression, racism, and trauma is something that should never be happening. And that's why we need more people that look like us, just people of color in general, in rooms when they're planning shoots like this. But as we all know, a lot of the times these rooms are very much so these mistakes happen. And at this point, I don't even know if it's a mistake or not, but I'll be kind. So from her having a wedding on a plantation to then doing this photo shoot, people were like, wow, Blake, you're really racist, or you're just choosing not to learn more about the racial history of this country. And Blake has still yet to say any comment on this shoot. Once again, this wasn't like a big controversial thing. It was more small, but there has been no comment, and it allows people to give Blake more of the side eye. Now let's get into Blake Lively's alleged feud with Anna Kendrick. So there were reports of Blake Lively and Anna having some beef on set of their movie A Simple Favor that was released in 2018. So this was a phenomenal movie if you guys want to go and check it out. I'm actually going to rewatch it very soon because I enjoyed it so much. But it's this dark comedy thriller where Blake played the character Emily Nelson that was known to be very mysterious and sophisticated, and Anna Kendrick played the role Stephanie Smothers, who was a mommy vlogger drawn into Emily's mysterious disappearance. And if you guys don't know who Anna Kendrick is, she was the girl that was in Pitch Perfect 1, 2, and 3, and she made the song The Cup Song. So overall, the movie was critically acclaimed, and it was a really good movie, so I highly recommend to watch it. So reports of a feud between the two started circulating in 2017, right after the film wrapped. These sources were claiming that there were clashes between the two actresses on set, with some suggesting that their personalities just didn't align together. Allegedly, Blake and Anna avoided each other when not filming, which led to these speculations about the behind the scenes drama. And the people behind the scenes know most of the drama all the time. They're the ones that really know the tea and really know the truth. And this was somebody from behind the scenes. Well, multiple people from behind the scenes.
Is there any truth to the rumors on TikTok that Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively had a feud while filming A Simple Favor?
It's a thing on TikTok? Apparently. Oh, really? No, definitely not. I think they got on pretty reasonably well, I think. Yeah, definitely no friction that I noticed.
Okay, keywords are reasonably and that I noticed.
And then once again with social media, people noticed that the two barely interacted with one another, especially when it came to promoting the movie. A lot of times when it comes to actors and actresses, when a movie's about to be released, they like to kind of play into the characters a bit when going on press tours, because it kind of makes fans more intrigued in watching the movie to see that chemistry be developed on the film. Because if they seemingly like each other in real life, you're assuming that the chemistry was even stronger in the movie, which means the movie is probably 9 out of 10 times even better. But yeah, neither of the two have spoken on this or have said that there was beef or not. But given Blake having issues allegedly with other people on set, I wouldn't be necessarily shocked if this were in fact true. And once again, it was the clashing of personalities. Blake being this now superstar. She's polished, she's glamour, she's on red carpet, she's going to the Met Gala, whereas Anna Kendrick is more down to earth. She's more of a laid back actress. She's not as much as like an A-list star, at least in my opinion, I would say.
Well, I met Blake. I worked with her husband Ryan several years ago, so I met Blake a few times through Ryan on that film.
Got it.
And thought she seemed nice, and little did I know.
Yeah. We got the body language experts analyzing this right now. How quickly do you...
Don't touch me.
Because I think we are the only person who can tell ourselves that we're good and that we're to give ourselves confidence, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it feels good when Anna gives me confidence too. I like compliments. I'm not below compliments. That's what my mom always says. She's like, wants me to compliment her, and she's like, I'm not below compliments. I'm like, it's clear that you're not, because she's always soliciting.
Oh, because you were just telling me about like weird expressions that she gets wrong, wouldn't it be, I'm not above compliments?
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Oh, she gets it all wrong. I never even thought about it. She says it. Yes, she's not above compliments. My mom gets everything sort of
like expressions. She was just telling me like
she'll be like smooth as pie. Or she'll be smooth as silk or whatever.
Easy as pie.
Yeah, and smooth as silk. But my mom, I think, is a very confident person, and so for me, yeah, I sort of like struggled with that because I've sometimes judged her for being so confident, which I think is like not fair, right?
Yeah, you're such a bad daughter.
Terrible daughter.
But yeah, that was another piece of beef that Blake Lively had with another co-star. So now let's get into Blake defending Woody Allen. So Blake starred in the movie Cafe Society, which is a romantic comedy drama written and directed by Woody Allen. At the time when this movie was releasing, Woody Allen was facing very serious allegations pertaining to sexual abuse of a woman by the name of Dylan Farrow. And she wasn't just a woman, she was Woody Allen's daughter. During a press interview with the Los Angeles Times back in 2016, when all of these allegations came out about Woody Allen, Blake decided to praise Woody Allen's professionalism and work, saying this: "It's very dangerous to factor in things you don't know anything about. I could only know my experience. And my experience with Woody is he's empowering to women." She further described him as very in touch with that feminine side. And she said that she admired his ability to create compelling female characters. Girl, many people criticize Blake's blatant disregard of Dylan's allegations. Many people argue that Blake saying that Woody empowered women was incredibly tone deaf, and I don't necessarily blame him. And not only that, people also said it was the timing of when she did this interview. She did this interview during the height of the Me Too movement, where a lot of these high-up Hollywood executives were getting called out for their very much disgusting behavior. And it was just really funny to people that Blake is always talking about women empowerment and putting women first and empowering women. But she blatantly disregarded a woman that stated that her own father sexually abused her. So a lot of people lost respect for Blake in that moment. But once again, Blake was still identified as America's sweetheart. This kind of went over people's heads until this past year when Blake starred in the movie It Ends With Us. So It Ends With Us is a romantic drama based on Colleen Hoover's 2016 novel, which I read and it was okay. I don't know if I would necessarily recommend it for people to read, but I have the second one and I still haven't read it yet. It's actually right there on my countertop. I was gonna read it at my hair appointment, but whatever. Anywho, the movie is an adaptation of the book. The story revolves around a character by the name of Lily Bloom, a woman who finds herself in an abusive relationship, grappling with the complexities of love, trauma, and healing. So Blake played the lead character, Lily Bloom, which a lot of people were confused about, given the fact that the character in the book was about 23 years old, I believe, and then Blake Lively is much older than 23 now. She's now her husband's age when he started pursuing her, which is very interesting. Isn't that interesting? No tea, no shade. But yes, this movie was highly anticipated due to the novel's mass success, but a lot of people were just upset with the characters, specifically Lily Bloom, who was played by Blake, for taking that role. They believed it made absolutely no sense that Blake was so much older, especially given the fact that Lily Bloom in the book was not that age. So that was just the start of this drama. It wasn't until the movie was on its press run when people were giving Blake Lively the major side eye. So as I stated, the book and the film It Ends With Us tackles very complex topics, specifically surrounded by domestic violence, trauma, and the strong impact of toxic relationships. So while Blake did speak about the importance of these themes, some people felt her response to a lot of questions when it came to what was revolving around the film, the main theme, domestic violence. They saw her responses as tone deaf. She was criticized for not fully acknowledging the gravity of the subject matter, especially when the promotion of the film felt more like a celebration of romance versus the deep dive of the impact of abuse.
What has been the best part in making this particular movie?
I've noticed so many beautiful crystals on teeth. Is that a big fashion thing? Is that a big fashion thing?
We did it
for you.
Two gems is very,
Oh my God!
Thank you for noticing.
No, I've seen it either I'm like having a stroke and everyone's teeth are like super shiny and amazing.
We got them yesterday. We are trying to copy you.
We can go get them done?
Yeah.
How? What happened? You know
They
about
glue
this?
them on.
Yeah. Are
You
you,
can
worried
get, like,
it's
a
going to
little
damage
design.
your teeth when you take it off?
Well, it's fashion. You have to have fun with it.
Wow. And how long do they stay on for?
For a couple of months.
Really?
Yeah.
Do they like feel different?
Yeah.
Do they make you talk different?
It feels like you're wearing braces.
Oh, do
Yeah.
they hurt?
No.
They should make braces out of these. That would be so. Everyone would look
So they
forward to
could,
having braces.
So for one, Blake clearly took control of the film, okay? The character Lily Bloom was not the Lily Bloom that people read in the book, and I can say that too.
This is a great question, and I'm going to tell you what exactly I imagine and what the book kind of gave. So book Lily was a little bit more white cat energy, and I feel like movie Lily is definitely more black cat energy, first off. And in the book, it made it seem like she was just a little bit more softer and feminine and girly. Like, I was expecting, like, House of CB, Reformation, Aritzia, like, kind of girly stuff like that. I was not expecting to see Carhartt jackets, overalls. Just, she looked crazy in the movie. And I think her fashion choices really took away from trying to focus on the actual message in the movie just because she looked fucking crazy. Like, book Lily just seemed way more whimsical and cool. Movie Lily just seemed irritating. Like, the fake laughing. And I feel like Blake was trying to come off very like seductive and flirty when that also wasn't really Lily's energy. That was more so Ryle's energy, but I digress. Also, not to mention, Book Lily was in her 20s, maybe early 30s, I can't remember. And movie Lily definitely seemed like she was pushing 40s. Also, maybe I'm tripping, but like, where was her apartment in the movie? Like, where was her roommate? I guess maybe they cut that part out, but I feel like that was definitely a part of it. Even the whole major moment where Ryle finds her diaries and stuff, they completely cut that out, and I feel like that was absolutely necessary for the movie. And I get it, obviously movies aren't going to be completely accurate to the books, but I feel like 50 Shades of Grey, as far as like the plot, was pretty like on point. It Ends With Us completely cut out like major moments of the book. Even like her whole journaling and reading back in her journals and stuff. Why did they not put that in there?
The movie Lily Bloom looked a hot mess. I'm sorry, I have to be real. And it was later found out that Blake personally styled herself for the film. So people were like, it's not about what you're wearing, Blake, or what you want to wear. This is a rendition. This is a rendition of the book It Ends With Us. You need to stay aligned with what the book character was dressing like and behaving as.
Y'all, I'm 40 minutes into this movie. Literally every outfit she's worn has pissed me off. Like, I read the book, so seeing this is upsetting. Why did they let her do this?
I'm just having a blast reviewing all of Blake Lively's insane wardrobe choices for It Ends With Us. So here we go. Here's the next one. This is giving homeless in Seattle chic. Not only that, it's really giving like, I'm trying to act like I'm homeless in Seattle, but I actually grew up rich. My mom married a man that wears Birkenstocks, when I was little, and she turned into a sad beige mom and made me eat organic granola. This is giving Plantation Barbie. This is giving a similar vibe, but I wanted to note the loafers and the socks and the orange frizzy hair. It seems like she wore this dress multiple times throughout the movie, and this is just not giving to me. Plantation Barbie and her plantation wedding can take her plantation Ken and get up out of here.
But then not only that, there was a lot of talks during interviews about Blake's fashion, about her hair, and all these things that have nothing to do with the film.
This is actually a dress. I went to the Met Gala in 2018, and I was going to wear this dress or another one. I was going to modify it and make it even more Met Gala-y. That's not a word, but it is now. And I couldn't decide between the two, and I ultimately chose this red one. And this one I had always wanted, and it was worn by another incredible actress, Can, a few years ago. But I loved it, so I was like, well, okay, beautiful piece is beautiful. Should be worn many times. She wore it so beautifully, and so now here I am.
I love your dress, the Britney moment.
Thank you.
It's so beautiful.
It is Britney's actual dress.
It's her actual dress.
Yes.
Oh
I know,
my God,
it's like
just in time for the bio.
It should be in the Smithsonian or the Met,
I know,
but
how
it's
do you
on me. I feel so lucky.
And that's another component I'm going to talk about, was that Blake was promoting her new hair care line while on this press run for this very, very compelling and twisted book. You can see clips of her doing people's hair while on the press run, promoting her product. You can see her talking about wear your florals when you're going to go see the movie, when the movie is literally about domestic abuse and violence. It literally seemed like Blake made the movie completely about her instead of the premise of what the movie was made for.
I think that the wardrobe was a really critical part of that storytelling, and I'm really, really proud of it. But I'm wearing like a ton of like Baldoni and vintage, and it's some of my favorite wardrobe I've ever worn. It's just like so expressive and eclectic and really gives you such a sense of the character.
Hello, Blake Lively here. Colleen Hoover. And It Ends With Us is in theaters now, so grab your friends, wear your florals, and head out to see it.
A lot of fans of the book felt as if this entire press run became more about Blake Lively and her business ventures and her relationship with her husband and her daughters versus the importance of domestic violence and abuse. And a lot of people didn't even know that the movie was going to be about abuse. There were no trigger warnings at all, for one. And then it didn't help that Blake was basically making it seem like this was just some fun rom-com.
We all didn't like the way this film was being marketed. Yeah. Okay? We all thought it was cringe. And Blake was in that video being rude to the reporter. And also there was the video of her saying something about I think the reporter asked her, like, how can fans connect with you about this, with this character or something? And she's like, okay, do you want me to share my location or something? She's just very sarcastic and snarky and just didn't come across well. I will just say this. It really reminds me of Housewives. A lot of times what they say is like, you can blame a bad edit Like Blake's trying to blame this smear campaign. Yeah. But they can't show things you didn't say.
Correct.
And in a lot of these clips and like evidence of Blake being cringe and being rude, Blake did those things. And Blake did use the film as a moment to launch a hair care business.
Right.
And promoting her alcohol brand, Betty Buzz, it's just not a good look when you're promoting also a film about domestic violence. Well, I think too, it was just a lot of like all about Blake, all about how this is how I styled it. This is my hair care line, my Betty Buzz, whatever. It was just a lot about her and how this was her vision. And I think people felt like that it didn't land for people.
So while all of this was happening, a lot of people began seeing Blake for her alleged true colors. And that's when a lot of old footage began getting released of Blake Lively. We already spoke about her and Leighton Meester, and y'all have already seen those clips. But there were even more of Blake not being very nice to interviewers. And whenever people asked her about her pregnancies that she literally announced, she always gave some snarky response. Let's speak on this first interview. So an interviewer by the name of Kajersi Faha, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correct. It's Kajersi Fla. So she titled a video on YouTube called "The Blake Lively Interview That Made Me Want to Quit My Job." In this interview that was back in 2016, Blake was seemingly being incredibly rude to this journalist when she congratulated her on her pregnancy. Take a look at this.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
You've got two nice ones.
They are kind of bumps, aren't they?
No, not bumps. The lovely lady lumps. Check it
Okay.
out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are
You
you
like the
gay?
movie? Are you a Woody Allen fan?
I love most of his movies, and this one was so like visually amazing.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Did you guys love wearing those kind of clothes that you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And working in
Everyone
digital.
wants to talk about the clothes, but I wonder if they would ask the men about the clothes.
I would.
I love Jesse's
He has some
suits and
beautiful.
how
That's what I'm saying.
he
His wardrobe was beautiful.
I know.
Corey's
Everybody.
wardrobe was
I know.
gorgeous.
He's
Those
so
high-waisted pants.
He's so great.
I would wish men
And
wore
sorry,
high-waisted
too.
pants
I
like
know.
that still.
Me
Or
too.
the father with his tank top in
Oh,
bed.
it's so
Just
good.
like it's just like
Did you
that.
catch
You could feel
the
it.
tablecloth on the light in the Italian restaurant when they eat spaghetti?
I didn't
and
notice that. No.
There's
So I
so
feel
much
like-
warmth of everything,
Yeah, it's not just the women that have the clothes.
But
I feel like the women
Victoria-
get the conversation, but it's like
Yeah.
every detail with everybody.
But yeah,
It's so,
it was
so
amazing
beautiful.
to look at.
Steve's
And then to see
white
it,
suits.
Yes.
And then you notice in LA, like everybody's in cream colors, and all the men are wearing like white and cream. And then you get to
Mhm.
New York, and it's a little bit more browns and moodier. And Susie really told such a story.
Yeah, amazing.
Alongside Vittorio, because it is a lot brighter and sunnier in LA, and New York has just a steaminess to it.
And I think the whole Hollywood glam is so glamorous.
Like, you cannot tell me that was not completely snarky and uncalled for. And Blake did this again with the very much so popular interviewer, Seth Meyers, when he congratulated her on her pregnancy. Take a look at this.
You have a baby at home, and you have a baby on the way. Congratulations.
What makes you say that?
The shark told me.
You know you don't ever say that to a woman.
You're not supposed to say that to
No,
a
my
woman?
mom actually went up to someone that she hadn't seen in years. She goes, "Oh, congratulations, and you're so far along."
Oh,
She's
no.
like, I'm not.
Oh.
It's even a little bit far along.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's really rough.
Yeah, it was tough. So.
How are you? Are you excited, though? I mean, to
Yes,
have
you're guessing correctly.
Okay,
yes,
good.
this
All
is
right.
not brownies. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll let you off the hook.
I don't know if she gets uncomfortable about being pregnant, but she makes it so awkward when people are just trying to be nice to her and celebrate the fact that she's bringing life into this world. And then, of course, there was more footage of her just being off-putting or being a pick-me, just different negative attributes of Blake Lively that have gone viral. So here's a compilation of Blake Lively in interviews or just talking in general.
I was a cheerleader, I was in show choir, I was class president, I was in a ton of different clubs. I was very, very involved in school.
I grew up going to Disneyland like twice a week, except for there
Twice
was...
a week?
Yeah, my mom would take me out of school and take me to Disneyland.
You are one of the 100 influential people in America.
I still feel like my dad paid Time Magazine to make me feel good about myself.
My parents had paid the show choir director to put me in the choir, because I can't sing or dance to save my life.
But you were lead in that choir.
Her dad, Armie Lively, plays her father in The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, too.
It's the most special thing you could ever imagine. It's the greatest home movie you could ever have, for sure.
I grew up watching him and going to his auditions and coaching him, and I never wanted to act, so hard, and I'm very grateful that that's how I got started. I started when I was 16. There's something on IMDb from when I was 11.
That's really nice of Blake Lively.
I think he should replace you because actually he's better at the job than you.
I think so
this should be
too.
called DB in the morning. At the end of the scene, he just sort of smiled and winked and was like, "That was it? That's all you have to say to me? Like, can you just give me a compliment, please?"
Straight after this, I go back into the studio, which I'm really excited about. I'm more excited. And I have the Green Lantern coming out in June, so.
Hi, Blake.
Hello.
Congratulations on your new bundle of joy.
Thank you.
You talked about
Is that him? Is he my new bundle of joy? What does that mean?
Well,
Did
yeah.
you see the movie?
I did see the movie. But
Wait, but by the way, you've been like, oh, I think you're the bigger Potter fan. I think you're the bigger Disney fan. I think you're the bigger. So, like, what? What about me over here?
You can present your own.
Guys, like, don't
present.
fight. The best in everything. So offended.
What's your Jeopardy
Okay,
category?
fine.
What's
I'll just sing a quick Cinderella song.
what would your Jeopardy category be then? What's your expertise? I want to get equal
Oh,
opportunity.
I'm not an expert at anything. I know a couple things here and there.
Comic book movies. You've appeared in one.
I
That's
have
wonderful.
really. This is great. It's really filling me up.
Blake Lively. Workout. How do you work out? Oh my gosh, this is so interesting. I'm so glad people are interested in my career.
2 of us got invited, and 2 of us were not allowed in because we weren't, I don't know, we weren't a big enough deal to make the guest list. Probably regret that now. I bet I'm going to make it the guest list this year.
So if someone understands the themes of this movie, comes across you in public, what's the best way for them to be able to talk to you about this?
Asking for like my address or my phone number or like my location share. Or I could just location share you and then we could oh my gosh, thank you so much. That's so sweet. I'm gonna put it here because it doesn't go with my outfit, but I will wear it later.
You having weird
You
cravings?
almost
Because I wasn't sure what you'd be
almost is
craving.
nonsense.
That's
Let
not
me
good
tell
enough.
you, real friends bring you real food. I had real friends that brought me these Levain cookies.
That's
Look at
amazing.
that. Have you had Levain in New York?
I haven't had those. Are they
So
amazing?
almost does not count as a present.
Maybe for the next one, because I know you're already hinting at having another one.
I want to get back onto you. Let's talk about you almost bringing. Tell me the impetus of why you didn't bring the present.
I wasn't sure what you'd be craving. What are you
No,
craving?
not about craving. I'm a normal human being. I eat food. I like food. What do you like to eat?
I like, well, I've never been pregnant, but I imagine if I wasn't.
But why are you differentiating? We're
Because
human beings. We all like food. What
Isn't
do you
there
like?
a
What do you love?
difference?
What do you like?
I like cookies.
You like
I
cookies from where?
pizza.
What's your favorite cookie?
My favorite cookie would be my mom's cookies, actually.
So next time, I want your mom's cookie. Why is Deadpool Wolverine sold out? I'm sorry, I got distracted. Rings. Rings also are like my comfort blanket. It's just a very expensive comfort blanket. I should like Snuggies instead as a comfort blanket. Instead, I like Lorraine.
So yeah, people were coming for Blake Lively's throat and they continue to do so. And especially when Blake Lively decided to drop a lawsuit against her co-star of the movie It Ends With Us, Justin Baldoni. So Blake Lively created a lawsuit against Justin after she was getting read for filth. And to a lot of people, this just seemed like she was like gripping at straws to try and get back her world-renowned Miss America image that she had for so long. So in this lawsuit, without going through the whole thing, let me just give an outline of what was in the lawsuit. So for one, there was allegations of sexual harassment and unprofessional behavior. She said that Justin allegedly engaged in unwarranted physical intimacy during scenes, such as biting her lip and dragging his lips along her neck out of character during filming. The lawsuit went on to say that there was improper scene additions, alleging that Justin added graphic and sexually explicit content to the script without prior consent, including a detailed sex scene for an underage character. And then she said that there were inappropriate comments made by Justin. She said that he made invasive remarks about her personal life and body, including unsolicited critiques and questions about her sexual experiences. Then she went on to talk about a hostile work environment, saying they were neglecting protocols. She reported that there was a lack of standard safety measures on set, including the absence of intimacy coordinators and disregard for nudity and simulated sex scene guidelines. She stated that there were intrusions of privacy by stating that Justin and others frequently entered her private trailer uninvited, including while she was undressed or breastfeeding. And the lawsuit went on to say that Justin had a disrespect towards women by making objectifying comments about women's appearances and pressured Blake to wear revealing clothing, creating an uncomfortable work environment. Then she went on to say that Justin created this smear campaign of her, which is when she was on this press run. She stated that there was a coordinated retaliation between Justin and Wayfarer Studios, allegedly launching a targeted smear campaign against Blake, when she raised concerns, hiring crisis PR specialist Melissa Nathan to discredit her. It went on to say the retaliation plan included creating fake online narratives to damage Blake's reputation and mislead the public, described as a social manipulation strategy. Blake claimed the campaign included planting stories in the media to portray her in a negative light and undermine her credibility. And overall, because there's more to the lawsuit that we can go into, lawsuit is seeking monetary compensation and aims to shed light on workplace misconduct in Hollywood.
So this is Editing Tony here, but after this lawsuit dropped, it was so evident in interviews that Blake had a clear issue with Justin Baldoni. She would never even really acknowledge him when he was brought up. People also noticed that the two barely interacted. Justin was never at any of the press runs, and Blake was seemingly the problem. Please take a look at these other clips of other people talking about this entire lawsuit and even some evidence that gears towards the fact that Justin and Blake had an issue prior to this all coming out.
When it comes to promo for It Ends With Us, Blake Lively is having a bloody shocker. When she's asked directly about Baldoni, which she has been a few times, she deflects.
Blake, talk to me about building trust with Justin, which I imagine would be crucial when filming some of those more difficult personal scenes.
Yeah, I mean, this movie was such a challenge because, you know, you have scenes that are, deeply painful and traumatic and physical, but you also have scenes that are full of levity and light and romance. And normally when I see this type of character like Ryle on screen, you know what's gonna happen.
So Blake dropped this lawsuit, and when I tell y'all, Justin Baldoni, who was the co-star of the movie It Ends With Us once again, he came back with receipts. Now, I'm tired from reading a Blake's lawsuit. I'm gonna have someone else go over Justin Baldoni's lawsuit. Take a listen to this.
Just how difficult was Blake Lively to work with on the set of It Ends With Us? Justin Baldoni dropped multiple text messages with crew members detailing everything. Baldoni claims that from day one of production, Blake tried to throw her weight around. She would undermine the wardrobe director and insisted on making her own outfit choices. She would often rewrite her lines daily, and apparently she was having Ryan Reynolds, who has no official credit on the film, help her rewrite some of the scenes, which was unbeknownst to Baldoni and the screenwriter. She allegedly also inserted herself into the editing room, would have pages of notes, would have the editors fly to her so she could continue making revisions for her own cut. And when she was unhappy, she got both the editor and a composer fired from the project. And even though they tested her edit versus Baldoni's edit in front of audiences, and Baldoni's edit ranked higher, she demanded that Sony release her version of the film. She even tried to bully her way into getting a PGA mark, which is a coveted credit for producers, which Baldoni and Jamie Heath were absolutely against. So much so that they still wrote the letter, but also sent a copy to their attorney saying that this letter was written and signed under duress. Because anytime Blake didn't get her way, she would halt production, she would threaten to quit, and she would threaten to not market the film.
Well, it just got even messier because Justin Baldoni is now suing Blake and Ryan Reynolds directly for $400 million. And guys, there are some big bombshells in this 179-page suit. Let me break it down. One of the biggest ones for me personally is that they're claiming that the reason that the marketing efforts were so disjointed and why Blake came across as so callous and not really caring about the issue of DV, but just wanting to promote her hair care brand and flowers and all of that stuff, is because Blake never even read the book. Right here, there's a text message snippet where they say, "We understand why Blake doesn't want to read the book. However, by reading it, she will truly understand Lily's character and why she chose to stay with Ryle." But right there saying she never even read the book, which, how could you not read the book? And then here it says that after the movie premiered, when Blake was getting all of the public backlash, she and Ryan worked with their talent agency, WME, who also represented Justin at the time, and said that they needed Justin and Wayfair to publicly apologize for the issues, the mistakes that happened during production, saying that this would help deflect, all of the negative media coverage that was coming out about Blake. And let me read this verbatim, guys. It says, Reynolds and Lively drafted a statement and demanded that Baldoni, Wayfair, and Heath issue that statement, requiring them to apologize to the public and fall on their sword, despite having done nothing wrong, or else, quote, the gloves would come off. And it gets worse because it says multiple WME executives acknowledge that in their experience, Lively and Reynolds' threats were not to be taken lightly. But Justin refused to apologize. He said no, they did nothing wrong. Here, there are emails that are included from Justin to the author of the book, Colleen, where he just discusses how important this film is to him, how much he wants to option the book for a film, and these date back to 2019. And then there is this text thread between Blake and Justin, where it shows a history of them texting almost daily, this friendly banter where they're joking, they're nice, and seemingly showing that they're working well together. Even making jokes about Justin complimenting her, and her saying what an amazing time it has been working with him on this film.
Justin Baldoni is suing the New York Times and dropping receipts on Blake Lively. These are some of her claims and his counterclaims with evidence. Blake claims there was no intimacy coordinator until she demanded one. And then Justin Baldoni showed screenshots between he and Blake where she acknowledges that there is an intimacy coordinator and she declined to meet with the coordinator prior to filming. Blake claimed that Justin Baldoni was behind some of the negative press that she was getting during the promotion of It Ends With Us. And then he shows his team acknowledging some of the articles and videos on TikTok, claiming they had nothing to do with it. That if anything, it was being driven by TikTokers rather than it was by their own stunts. They acknowledged that it wasn't through their orchestration, but by Blake's old interviews that started resurfacing. Even more so, they showed that Blake's team altered some of the text messages that they reveal in their lawsuit to change the context. Specifically in relation to a Daily Mail article. Blake said that he came into her dressing room while she was breastfeeding and that made her uncomfortable. However, he showed a text message from her inviting him to run lines in her trailer while she was pumping. She says that he only wanted to promote DV awareness to bolster his image. However, he shows multiple messages showing that DV awareness was always his intention. Apparently, going into the film, he even wanted a percentage of the proceeds to be donated to help survivors. It's still a lot of he said, she said, but he does have a lot more evidence than she did.
Now, in terms of the intimacy coordinator and Blake claiming that she felt very uncomfortable around Justin, there has been new footage that dropped showing that Blake was either insinuating and pulling in Justin, and Justin and his team dropped footage of them working together, and Justin allegedly being very professional. Take a look at this, y'all. The tea just keeps getting hotter and hotter.
Wait, did you see this interview though?
The intimacy coordinator in some of those sexier scenes, like we saw you.
That shouldn't be happening, by the way. I just want to be clear that you should not be the intimacy coordinator. You should definitely hire intimacy coordinators, which we did have. Thank goodness.
You were teaching Justin how to pull you in.
Where have you seen this?
That
clip?
I actually just saw it too. It was on Instagram yesterday, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
Blake, we saw it too. It's right here. And if you're still so conflicted about this whole entire thing, read both lawsuits from beginning to end. Justin hired a really great attorney and he's not done. It's almost like he just started. Listen to what he said on the Megyn Kelly show today.
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megyn. Wait till you see this lawsuit.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. Well, for what?
I'm just going to tell you, you're going to have to wait and see. It's coming up soon. But it's all going to be based on evidence. It's not going to be just a lawsuit. It's going to be the kind of lawsuit that is full of evidence, admissions, documents, which prove exactly what she did and how she bullied her way through the process to take over the movie and used her PR people to try and destroy Justin.
Megyn mentions Ryan Reynolds and he goes, for sure. They're putting him in the lawsuit. They're suing him too. What?
And Emily and I have we have these moments where
staring. You just stare.
Literally we've done it for 5 minutes. it's like, I think you would find it terrifying. We just literally hear each other and
when
time.
I found a sociopath.
And time stops.
Yeah.
But that's just how it's been for us from the beginning.
No, we're like, oh my God, there's not enough time.
Oh.
And they score again.
Yeah.
Again.
It's like, oh my God, I forgot to tell you something else.
I think that's cute. You guys are really cute.
I think it's more than cute.
They won the Stanley Cup.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then let's just do one almost super close.
Yeah.
Can you guys frame up on the Sebastian on you? Yeah. We'll just do our lips are right next to each other. Yeah, got you.
But I think you should start talking.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Still rolling.
Don't give it to them. They want it. Don't give it to them.
So this part I got copyrighted on, so you guys just have to listen in silence and just read the subtitles. My apologies about that one.
Getting spray tan on you.
It smells good.
Well, it's not that. It's my body makeup.
And they win! They won!
All right, cut. I think we got plenty.
Yes.
Slow motion. It's going to be a 17-minute reel.
Blake Lively has also recently come out releasing a statement in order to clear her name surrounding the numerous allegations about her. Here's what she had to say.
Blake Lively just released a bold statement to Justin Baldoni and his lawyer. As we know, Justin Baldoni just dropped a hefty lawsuit to Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds for a whopping $400 million. Blake Lively has officially entered the chat. She just released a statement saying this is an old age story. A woman speaks up with concrete evidence of harassment and retaliation, and the abuser attempts to turn the tables on the victim. This is what experts call DARVO, deny, attack, reverse, victim, offender. Girly pop, I'm a little bit bamboozled. What concrete evidence are you referring to? What evidence? Because you don't have any evidence. The New York Times, that piece that you wrote on Justin Baldoni, that smear campaign that you teamed up with New York Times, because I feel like we all know, how did the New York Times get this information? Your text messages are missing context. There's no context in your text messages. You manipulated the text messages. You edited the text messages. You deleted some things in the text messages, which I don't know if you did it or the New York Times. I don't know. But somebody did it. There has been zero proof come forward of harassment. Zero. Nada. Zilch. So I fear I don't know what you are referring to when you say you have concrete evidence. The evidence is not in the room with us. If you can bring the evidence forward, please, by all means. But Justin Baldoni has brought evidence over evidence over evidence. The evidence is overwhelming that he has brought forward. Text messages, full context of the text messages. Your storyline just seems like you and Ryan Reynolds are trying to fit a narrative.
Now, I don't know what exactly happened. None of us do because we weren't there. But judging by the fact that Justin came with concrete proof from every claim that Blake made with the receipts, y'all, this is going to be a very, very interesting battle in court. I'm very curious what this is going to turn into. Someone's reputation is going to get deeply damaged because these allegations are something serious. But that is the latest of Blake Lively and her alleged problematic past. We're going to see more come out, and I might have to do another video if this is another Amber Heard and Johnny Depp situation, because that was a crazy trial. But it's a lot. It's a lot. My overall thoughts when it comes to Blake Lively is that she seems like somebody that really kind of always got what she wanted. She never really had to work for anything. She's known as like a Nepo baby, but she's not a Nepo baby. She just came from money, so she kind of always got what she wanted. I mean, in the interviews I showed y'all, she literally said that she got a role even though she couldn't even sing. That shows entitlement. So I'm not necessarily sure who was right and who was wrong, and plus I'm not trying to get sued too. So we'll just have to see how it all plays out.
Here's what I think happened. I think Blake Lively legitimately did not believe. I think when she had all that bad press happening, she could not fathom that people didn't like her. I think she truly believed that Justin Baldoni was behind it. I don't think she did this to create a narrative. I think she saw it and said, this has to be him. This has to be him. And unfortunately, I think she was wrong. And so I think to counter that bad PR, and she saw her reputation going down, she decided to play what she thought was an equally nasty PR game by filing this lawsuit in the civil rights court, never with the intention of ever having to then take it to the real courts. I don't think that she ever wanted that. Unfortunately, she was wrong. She filed it, and the public then said, wait a second, are you playing a PR game rather than Justin Baldoni? And now she had to back that up by really filing it in court. And what's going to happen is now the entire public is going to see what happened, who was leaking stuff to who. And like I said, my money is on Blake Lively being wrong. I think she is 100% wrong. If this doesn't make him a good guy, doesn't make Justin Baldoni a great guy, please do not think I'm a Justin Baldoni stan. I know nothing about him, and I hate 90% of Hollywood. But in this circumstance, I just think he's going to win the lawsuit. And I think New York Times, based on what I have seen of what I would describe as doctored correspondences, doctoring it by not giving people the full correspondences, is going to end up having to settle this lawsuit. and paying Justin Baldoni, as well as the PR women that are listed in this lawsuit, paying them out for misrepresenting what they actually said.
But you guys, that is the end of this very lengthy video. I'm glad that we finally got through it when it comes to discussing Miss Blake Lively. What are your thoughts on this? Do you guys think that Justin Baldoni's telling the truth? Do you think that Blake Lively's telling the truth? Do you think that Blake Lively's a good person, a bad person, an okay person? Let's get the discussion going on in the comments down below. As you guys all know, we are on the road to 300,000 subscribers, and I cannot wait to add more of you to this family. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all in my very next video. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah.
Taking you in this moment, come get close like you own name. Read your aura, you want more of all this love, you'll be your name. Release all of your